First off, let's start with these little fun gingerbread DIYs by making this little gingerbread man. I picked this up at Dollar Tree, but first we're going to remove all the tinsel from him and just start with the frame underneath, and then we're going to make him all cute and decorated. These are fairly easy to get off. You just have to take your scissors and snip one of the pieces and just go back and forth. They have the little parts on the sides to hold it on. So once you get that started, just go back and forward until you get it removed fully. And sometimes you have to take your scissors and snip it and then start another piece until you get it all removed. Next, we're going to take the frame that we have that after we removed our tinsel, and we're going to wrap it in this chunky yarn. I did different things with it to see which way would be the easiest to wrap it. We're going to do his whole little body, and then I'm going to take a Walmart blanket at the end and make a cute little hat for that portion. So I picked this up, I think at Joann's. You can get any of the chunky yarn at any craft store. So I'm going to start here at the bottom on his little foot. I'm going to take it and lay it out flat and put a little bit of hot glue there on the bottom, and then that way it's covered up once I get started. That way you can just lay it there flat and then start wrapping. We're going to start wrapping the bottom of the leg. After we have that little piece glued onto the bottom, go ahead and just wrap it. You can cross it over. Just make sure that it touches and you wrap it pretty tight. I'm going to do that first little leg here, and then I found that it's easier to go ahead and go wrap his body up to his arms. Once you get to that point, go ahead and wrap it really tight. You can wrap this any way you want to. The object is just to get the whole little gingerbread body covered, but this is the way that I found out that it's easier just to not have to cut it so many times, but it lays in on top of each other good, and it glues in good. So if you want to just wrap both feet and then the body and the arms, that would be perfectly fine as well. This is just the part that I found to be the easiest. I'm going to utilize those little pieces on the side that they used for the tinsel. I'm just going to take it and crisscross it back and forth and cover his little chest that way. And then once I do that, I'm going to start on the next arm and just wrap it around really tight. Once you get to the end there, you're going to put some hot glue and then wrap it until you can take the pieces and put a little bit of glue and pinch it together. Snip that little piece off, and then that way you can just take your fingers and pinch the edges, and they'll all hold together really good. Go ahead and snip that off and just tuck it in, and you won't even see where the rough edge was. Now that we have his little tummy done and one little leg and arm, we're going to wrap the other leg just the same way. Just go ahead and do it, and then when you get to the back there, you can just put the piece of yarn and then clip that off and glue it in. We're going to finish it up by wrapping his other little arm and also his neck and face. I just took some hot glue and put it there on the back of the frame to start wrapping at his neck. Once I had that in place, I'm just going to take it and wrap it backwards and forward and around the frame just to get good coverage. Once I get the yarn wrapped up to where the hat starts, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over and snip that on the back and glue that down so it'll hold nice and tight. I picked up this little $3 blanket and the mainstay stuff at Walmart. I thought these would be a really pretty color to do a lot of Christmas crafts with. It's between a red and a burgundy. I thought this would be a great opportunity to use this to make a little hat for the gingerbread man. So I'm just going to roll it off and cut a little piece so we can put that on the frame as well to make his little hat. Once I had that little piece cut out, after I held it up to see what size I wanted it and to see which part of the blanket I wanted to use. I wasn't sure if I wanted to use that little sewed edge or not, but I went ahead and cut it down. I'm going to take my hot glue here and just make a line, and then I'm going to flip that up and make like a little folded pleat just to have for a decorative edge for the brim of his hat. I thought it'd be really cute to utilize that little sewed edge. I know it's navy blue, but I thought it would just give it a little pop of something whimsical for his hat. So once I have that on, I'm going to take it and fold it over, and to see how I want to put the little tied off part at the end. So I'm going to take my hands, hold it on, and scrunch it up here just to see where I want to put the tie off part. Once I have that figured out, I'm going to take the little brim and put it over the top of the edge where the chunky yarn stopped. And then I'm going to wrap it around to the back and just put some hot glue there just to make sure that it all looks like a nice finished edge. And then once I have that done, I'm going to take my hands after I get that glued down and it dries and make the little knob there at the end. Now just take your hands and twist that end piece. The shape of the frame will help guide you too. So I'm going to take it, kind of twisting it as I go, and then I'm going to gather the end there and then take a piece of twine and tie it off nice and tight. Once I have that tied nice and tightly, I'm going to take my fingers and open up the end there so it will spread out, and then I'm going to take my scissors and cut it down to the size that I want it, just to have a nice little poofy end. Go ahead and snip those little pieces of twine, and we have our little hat made, and we're going to now decorate him. I had bought a pack of rickrack and ribbon and that kind of thing that was in like a little group at Michael's when it was on sale back in the fall, and this cute little piece of rickrack was in that. I thought this would be so cute to make his little arms and legs with, just like the icing scribbled on the cookie. So I'm going to take it and cut it off in little pieces and just take my glue and press it down here and put it on each of his arms and legs. I'm going to repeat the same thing with that rickrack on each of his legs, and once I have it glued down on the back side, I'm going to flip them over and put a little bit here in the middle just to make sure that it's not loose and it doesn't get stuck in between the chunky yarn. If you wanted to fill that little hole in there on his back with more chunky yarn, that would be perfectly fine. It just didn't match up with the way I wrapped his arms and legs all separate, and then his neck and head. But if you wanted to crisscross it there in the back using those little pieces, you could. Or this would be a great place if you were going to hang him, to put a hanger as well. I just left mine bare because I wasn't sure if I was going to hang him or stick him in front of a tier tray or in one of my holiday displays. Once those are complete, I'm going to flip them over and make sure that everything is nice and glued down and snug, and then we'll get started on the next part of our little gingerbread man. I have this ribbon in my stash. I thought this would be so cute to make a little bow here for his neck. So I'm just going to take it around, wrap it around a couple of times, and tie a bow just like I was going to tie my shoes. But I'm going to knot it first here so it stays in place, and then I'll take a little bit of glue just to secure it down. I wanted to leave my ribbon tails long, just let them hang down here because I think the ribbon's so pretty. It matches the hat so good. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut the ends of them at an angle just so they have a nice finished look. I thought about doing a dovetail on those. Either way would be really pretty. So next I'm going to take some of these large buttons. I had these in a pack I think I picked up at Hobby Lobby maybe. I thought this would be a great size, just kind of oversized to put on his little belly. So I'm going to take these and glue these down. Just make sure that the glue don't mash up through the holes. And I'm going to position them here and just put a couple on his tummy. Once I have those glued down, I'm going to take these little pieces of pine that I had in another little Christmas sprig, and I'm just going to take those and tuck them in here beside his bow. And then if you wanted to glue those in, that would be great. They actually stick pretty good through the chunky yarn through that little frame behind him. Next I'm going to make a little twine bow just the way I made the burgundy one. Tie it off and stick it here in the center. And to finish off the bow, I thought it would be really cute to take a little black and brown button and stick it here in the center just to make a little stack bow to give it a little bit of charm. Okay, here's our finished product on this one. I think he turned out so cute. There's so many different ways you could do these. You could do them in different colors. You could also get some material and put a little bit around the waist and do you a gingerbread girl to go with him. You could sit these up or hang them on a wall. The possibilities are unlimited, and they'd also be adorable to make and stick in a wreath. Stick around for DIY number 2. We're going to continue our gingerbread theme. I picked these little gingerbread foam pieces up at Dollar Tree. They're very flimsy, so I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to make these more stable to use for Christmas DIYs. So this is what I come up with. I think you're going to love how they turn out. So let's get started on our next DIY. I'm going to use some of this burnt umber paint and a little bit of the chocolate bar and mix those together to get the right color. You do not have to paint these. I just want them to have a little bit different look. Once I got those two colors mixed together, I'm just going to take a sponge brush here and paint them I'm going to take my brush and make sure the paint goes horizontal. I wanted it to go the same way in case they dried with some streaks, because I want them to look more handmade and just not like foam. I want them to look just like little cookies, and then we're going to decorate them and make them so cute. I'm going to paint the both of these on the fronts only, because we're going to put backs to them, and this is the part we're going to decorate and make adorable. So just make sure, if you do decide to paint them, just do one side. If you wanted to paint the back side of another one, you could to put them together, but those sides will not be shown with what I'm going to do. So once you get that paint on, let it dry, and then we'll start our decorating. I'm going to use this ivory or cashew colored paint. It's chalk paint. I'm just going to dry brush it on just to make them look just a little bit more handmade and like cookies. I know it looks like it's really dark here on the screen as far as too white, but I'm going to take a sponge brush in just a minute and rub over that, and then it all blends really pretty together and they look more distressed. Again, painting these little foam pieces are totally optional. If you just want to leave them the color of the foam, that's great too. You can just omit all the paint steps and start at the decorating parts. After I put that ivory color on, I want to take my sponge brush that I used to paint them the brown, and take it and just take my brush and kind of take it across horizontally just to blend those colors together, just to make them look a little bit more finished. I decided I wanted to show two different ways to do these. So the first way is we're going to make it like an authentic gingerbread man with puffy paint, and then the other one we're just going to leave plain and just decorate it in just a second with a little scarf. So for the first one, we're going to take this white puffy paint, and I'm just going to go around the edges and like I'm going to do icing around the sides of him. So I'm just going to take it and come in maybe a little bit, and make sure when you use puffy paint you don't get any air bubbles. Just kind of squeeze it there at the end if you need to. Tap it on a hard surface to get those out, and just take it slowly and go around the perimeter of your gingerbread man as icing. I just wanted to continue it as a authentic little gingerbread man, so I'm going to go ahead and do 3 little buttons with the icing. Then I'm going to take this little oil crayon I had in an art set and just do some little pink cheeks. I'm just going to take it and tap it a little bit, and I'll take my finger and rub it in, and then I'm going to continue to do his little face with his little eyes and mouth. Now the fun part is putting these together. I'm going to take 2 pieces just out of the pack. This is the parts that we did not paint, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to take some hot glue. I'm going to use it just like I did the icing and go around the perimeter. You're going to do this sections at a time so it doesn't dry too fast on you. I'm going to do the head and the little arms, and then lay one of the top pieces over that, and make sure that you have good adhesion and it's all covered, and that way you will have 2 little pieces together so we can put our stuffing in. You could opt here to go ahead and stuff the top part, but I went ahead and did his little sides here, and wanted to make sure that I had good adhesion and make sure that I wouldn't overlap it too much. I just wanted to do it in sections, so that didn't happen either. And then I'm going to start making sure that I have it held nice and tight. I just had a bag of this cotton stuffing. I'm going to take it and ball it up in just little pieces at a time. Take my fingers, and you could take scissors, you could take a little wooden dowel and push it up in there, and start with his little head, and then go ahead and fill that in, and then do his little arms. Just make sure you don't overstuff him, that he starts to pop loose. I wanted to make him just plump enough that you could see that it was stuffed, but not just overly that it was about to pop open. Working all this in, I'm going to just go ahead and get it all stuffed to his little tummy. Once you get to that point, you'll be down to the little feet. I'm going to do one little foot at a time, so I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. Put the glue around the perimeter, go ahead and glue that down, and then stuff that little foot as well. Just work it in sections, just taking little pieces of the cotton, just tap it in place. If you have any little spots that need to be filled in, you can take your scissors and push that up in there. Next, I'm going to go ahead and finish off his other little foot, just working around. Just put you some glue and take that in there and stuff it as you go, and then once you have it all stuffed in, just take some glue and hold that down and press it sealed. If any little part pops open on you like here, I'm going to just take my glue and put a little bit in there, making sure that you take something and press that stuff in back in and pinch it together. Once you have all your stuffing in and everything glued in place, just look around to make sure you don't have any glue poking out of the edges of the foam. If you do, since they are foam, you can just take your scissors and trim that off. Once we have that first one stuffed, we're going to go ahead and decorate it. It's just going to stay very simple. I'm going to take this really pretty gingham ribbon and tie around his little neck, make a little knot, and then I want it to be just hanging down here loosely and long. So I'm going to take it and knot it here as a little scarf. And then this has wire in it, which I love because you can position it how you want it. I'm going to make some little creases in it. I'm going to first glue that little knot down so it doesn't slip loose. And then I'm going to take my fingers and see how I want those little ends to lay. Once I see where I want those, I'm just going to take a little dab of glue and press those down so it just doesn't flap up. I'm going to do that on both sides just so it holds in place. I love the simplicity of this first one that we did. So next we're going to go ahead and stuff the second one that we put the little faces and the little faux icing on. We're going to do this the same way that we did the first one, just going around in working sections at a time, pressing it down and putting in the little cotton stuffing. Once you have the second little guy stuffed, we're going to do the same thing and finish off at its little foot, just making sure that you put your glue there, making sure that your stuffing is complete, and then press it down and hold it. And if you have any glue come out, just snip that off. I'm just going to flip it over here and show you the back. That's the original color compared to the color we painted it, and then that way you can see how much it's stuffed also. And then next I'm going to take this black and white gingham. I'm going to make him a little scarf with it just to have a little bit of difference in the two. So I'm going to do the same thing, just take it, tie it around his little neck and tie in. I'm just going to make the scarf hang down here loosely and go ahead and snip those off at an angle. Okay, here's our finished product on their second DIY. I just think these turned out so adorable. You could take these and put them so many different places. They'd be so cute to sit around your kitchen on a tiered tray. These would be adorable to make several with little faces and several that are plain and string them on a garland. Really, the possibilities are unlimited. If you do craft shows, these would be so cute to take and put in a little bucket and sell them individually. The choice is yours. Just make them your own unique creation. Okay, we're going to start our third gingerbread DIY. I'm going to start out by using one of these Dollar Tree baking sheets. I thought I would first take it outside and spray paint it, but instead I just decided to use this ivory chalk paint. I wanted it to look more distressed and rustic anyhow, so I didn't want it to have really good coverage. If you do want that, just spray paint it and then start from there. I didn't mind if my metal shined through, so it doesn't matter if it has scratches or anything for my DIY. Because I thought the more rustic and distressed, the better for this. So once you decide which way you want to do that, just go ahead and put a nice coat on and let that dry, and then we'll get started on the next part. Once it's dry, I'm going to use this stencil that I picked up off of Amazon. The Baked Fresh Daily is not going to fit on this tray, so I'm not even going to use that part. I'm just going to hold it down here and put it on. I thought that it would be really cute to use this burgundy color because that little heart there I'm going to use as a decoration on the corner. So I'm just going to take my sponge brush, dab it into the paint, and go ahead and fill those in. I wanted all today's DIYs to have that gingerbread theme, and then I also wanted them to have a lot of the same colors with the burgundies and blacks and creams. So I thought these all would blend well and put them in a nice little display together. Once I have all the little spaces filled in with my sponge brush, I'm going to go ahead and lift that up and start from there. Once I lifted that stencil up, something happened and I didn't get to record the next part, but I went ahead and raised up my stencil. I took some of the burgundy paint and just almost like painted a border around the wording just to give it more of a pop of color. And then I took some of the ivory paint and kind of put streaks in with that just to give it more of a distressed look. That's where we started at here. Sorry about that little glitch in the video, but I wanted to continue on from this point. So I'm going to use this Distressed Oxide in the Ground Espresso. I'm going to take it and just dab my little brush in that and go around the edges of it and just make some more distressing, just to give it a little more rustic charm. Once I go around all the edges, I thought this brown just kind of tied it all in and made all the gingerbread stuff pop, and especially going to sit it in a easel with all the gingerbreads that we made today. So I wanted to take it and kind of just make it almost like a grungy look, and so I'm going to take it and make it really dark on the edges, almost like it's got a little bit of rust on it, and put it in between the letters. I thought that turned out really pretty. If you don't like this look and you want yours nice and crisp and clean, just omit this step as well. Next, I'm going to take some of this pine that I had in this little bush that I got at Dollar Tree. It's like a long pick. So I'm going to take it, snipped off 2 pieces of the pine the same length, and then I'm going to put some hot glue here in the center of my pan and just lay those pieces in until they dry. I took my fingers and bent those little wires up so they would look like little sprigs coming up out of the pan. And then I made this little bow out of the same ribbon that I used on the gingerbread man's little scarf. I thought that would tie everything in nicely too. So I just made a little small bow, and then I had this twine, and I'm going to take it and just open it up kind of like a little loopy flower, and we're going to glue that in the center just to give it more of a rustic pop. Once you have those pieces glued in together, I'm going to take it here and just stick it here in between those 2 pieces of pine, and then all the colors kind of blend together really nicely. But first, I'm going to take this little button and glue it in the center of the bow. Once I have the bow all made and all the little pieces put in, I'm going to go ahead and take some hot glue and glue that in the center now onto the tray. I picked these adorable little ornaments up at a local craft store. I thought they would be so cute to take and put on the corners here opposite of each other on the tray. So I'm going to take this little gingerbread man and glue it down here in the left corner, and then take this little heart and glue it down up here in the right corner, and it just tied it in, I think, really nice. Okay, here's our finished product on this one. I hope you love how this turned out. You can make this in so many different ways with different stencils, different colors paint, and it's amazing that you can just go to Dollar Tree, buy an inexpensive pan, and use this as a centerpiece for a display. I love it how here I'm going to show the next picture how you can put them all together and have such a cute wintry Christmassy themed display. This would be beautiful to put in your kitchen, dining room, or anywhere you just want a pop of holiday cheer. I hope you enjoyed these fun gingerbread DIYs today. Let me know in the comments below which one you're going to be making and which one is your favorite. I enjoyed our time together. Thanks for watching. I linked another video here for more crafting inspiration. Be sure to check it out. Have a great day.